Welcome to today's custom-tailored deep dive. We are looking at a highly specific technical spec sheet from HDTVSupply for a piece of gear called the Smart-AVI MU-88-S 8x8 transparent USB 2.0 matrix switch. Okay, let's unpack this because on paper, a USB switch sounds incredibly mundane.
Right. Sounds like something you just buy for 20 bucks on Amazon.
Yeah.
But this is actually the elite, unbreakable link of a high-stakes control room.
Exactly. I mean, think about a massive live broadcast, the Super Bowl, election night, or a rocket launch. You see the flashy screens, but behind the glass, out of sight, there's a literal heavy metal rack making sure absolute zero data gets dropped.
Yeah, when a technical director instantly swaps controls from a graphics machine to a video server, it has to be seamless. And to understand why this device exists, we really have to look at the 8x8 in its name.
Right, which basically acts like an old-school telephone switchboard operator, right?
Right.
Just dynamically routing up to 8 users to any of 8 connected computers.
That is a perfect analogy. And what's fascinating here is the physical footprint. This isn't some flimsy plastic dongle you just toss in a laptop bag.
Oh, definitely not. Looking at the specs, it has 8 USB 2.0 Type-B inputs and 16 USB Type-A female outputs. And it's a literal black box that's over 17 inches wide.
Yeah, and it weighs 8.8 pounds, almost 9 pounds for a USB switch.
Which is wild. But that weight isn't just wasted metal, is it? It's all that heavy-duty internal power supply and thick electromagnetic shielding.
Exactly. Because in a broadcast truck or a secure military room, you are surrounded by massive RF interference. Consumer gear would just fry or drop packets instantly in that environment.
Right. And despite all that intense hardware, the control layer is surprisingly simple.
It is. It's completely plug and play. You can control it physically right on the server rack with a 2-button front panel and an LCD display, or you can manage it remotely through a web-based control console via its Ethernet port.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. I have to push back a little bit on the core tech. It's USB 2.0. We live in a world of Thunderbolt and massive network-attached storage. So why spend real money on a heavy, dedicated physical matrix just to route USB signals? Couldn't a cheap, standard KVM switch handle this?
Well, no. And it all comes down to the word transparent. A standard KVM switch relies on a process called emulation.
Emulation, so it's basically faking it.
Essentially, yeah. Emulation intercepts your keyboard and mouse signals and creates a fake, constant handshake with your computer.
Right, so it tricks the operating system into thinking the devices are still plugged in when you switch screens so the computer doesn't freak out.
Exactly. But that trickery actually strips out complex data packets. It reduces the connection to the absolute lowest common denominator.
Ah, I see. So if I plug in like an external hard drive or a biometric smart card reader or a scanner.
Or a custom broadcast controller, yeah. An emulated switch tries to read it as a generic keyboard, and the whole system just crashes.
Wow. Okay, so that's why the spec sheet specifically highlights no emulation.
Precisely. The MU-88S acts as a transparent, unfiltered data pipeline. The computer sees the actual peripheral instantly. There's no intercepted or simplified code getting in the way.
So it can route all that raw data flawlessly across Sun, Mac, or PC workstations without any software hiccups or drivers at all.
Not a single driver required.
So what does this all mean? When you're directing live television, you obviously cannot afford a software driver conflict mid-broadcast.
No, not even for a second.
And that extreme reliability explains the price tag. I'm looking at the listing from HDTVSupply, and it retails for an MSRP of $3,499, though right now it's marked down to about $2,450.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, this is definitely not for a home office. It's designed to expedite workflows for technical directors and live TV staff.
Because to them, a dropped connection during a live global feed costs significantly more than $3,000.
Oh, absolutely. This hardware guarantees that when an operator hits a physical button on a control deck, the assigned workstation responds in that exact same millisecond.
So we've basically gone from staring at a really dense spec sheet to understanding this absolutely critical piece of live production infrastructure.
Yeah, it's the invisible backbone making it all happen.
It really is.
Yeah.
Which raises an important question to leave you with. The next time you watch a flawless live television broadcast, consider that invisible infrastructure. How many transparent matrix switches are working behind the scenes right then, silently routing massive amounts of data?
Right, and as we see more live production moving to cloud-based virtualized environments, how long will these massive physical hardware routers remain the industry standard?
Or will the ultimate unhackable security of an air-gapped hardwired matrix actually become way more valuable in an age of constant network vulnerabilities?
Definitely something to mull over.